Welcome and good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us today as we celebrate MITT's efforts to remove barriers to accessibility within our campus environment. My name is Ryan Filteau. I'm the Student Success Manager here at MITT, and I will be your MC for this morning. I'd like to first begin by acknowledging that we are here today on Treaty 1 territory and that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and the traditional homeland of the MITT Nation. We are fortunate to have some very special guests with us here today who will participate in this morning's ceremony, and I would like to acknowledge them at this time in the order that they will speak today. First, Elder May Louise Campbell, who is an Ojibwe Métis elder in residence at Red River College and the University of Manitoba's Faculty of Social Work, and a member of the Mayor's Indigenous Advisory Circle. Welcome. Miss Emily McKinney, who I'm sure everyone has noticed with the beautiful dress today. Emily is from Swan Lake First Nation, who is a former student in the DSFM Career Exploration Program here at MITT, and is an international hoop, fancy shawl, and jingle dance performer. Welcome today. Mr. Ray Karasevich, MITT's interim president and CEO. Morning, Ray. Another very special guest, Mr. Darren Luke, who's here today from the Rick Hansen Foundation as the ambassador for Manitoba. As well, Mr. Terry Duguid, who is the Member of Parliament for Winnipeg South. Welcome. Miss Rebecca Parkinson, who is representing Honorable Jim Carr, Minister of Natural Resources. And last but certainly not least, Mr. John Schubert, our MITT board president, or chair. My apologies. Welcome to each of you, and thank you very much for taking time to be here with us this morning. So the Barrier Buster project we are celebrating this morning is called Pathways Towards an Accessible Campus Community. As the title suggests, the project is one step on a much larger journey to which MITT is fully committed. Pathways Toward an Accessible Campus Community is made possible by the Rick Hansen Foundation Access4All Canada 150 Signature Project, which is supported by the Government of Canada. This initiative is helping remove barriers in communities across Canada. On behalf of MITT, I'd like to thank the Rick Hansen Foundation and the Government of Canada for their support and their vision. To begin our event today, I'd like to first invite Elder May Louise Campbell to join me on stage. We are very privileged this morning to have Elder May Louise Campbell with us today. In addition to her contributions to post-secondary education as Elder in Residence, Elder May Louise is keeper of Grandmother Moon Lodge here in Winnipeg, which provides healing to women in need, and she provides her guidance to countless local and national organizations, including her current role serving on the Mayor's Indigenous Advisory Council. In 2016, Elder May Louise received national recognition for her decades of teaching as the recipient of the Inspire Award for Culture, Heritage, and Spirituality. Please join me once again in welcoming Elder May Louise to the podium at this time to bring a blessing to our event today. Thank you. Oh, even better than a handshake.
Good morning, everyone. Is that? Oh, you heard me. That's good. My goodness, this is a very exciting day for all of you and for Winnipeg and everybody else across Canada. Congratulations for creating a place of information and movement to indeed include everybody. And as Indigenous people, of course, If you're familiar with our medicine wheel includes everybody. And we have the medicine wheel that we have the 4 colors, which include all people. I often think of how our elders thought at one time before there was any contact at all. And they knew, just because of their deep spiritual knowledge and wisdom that they had, that one day people with different colored faces and skin would arrive on our lands. And they said that's why it was red, yellow, black, and white you often see on the medicine wheel. The white race, the yellow race, which are the Asian people, and the black people. So all people were included in our medicine wheel from the very beginning of time that we can have memory of. And that's what this is all about. Not only people of different colors, but also people who have difficulties, whatever they might be. If they're in wheelchairs, or people with mental conditions, people with all kinds of different things that our people would see as gifts to humanity. When we had children born in our communities at one time and they were different from others, our people would say, "Thank you, Creator, for this beautiful child that you have given us, because they have come to teach us something." You see, every child that is born that is not so-called normal, it's a gift to us. And that gift to us is to make us do exactly what you're doing today, to accept people for who they are, but also to know that indeed those gifts of humanity that we are sent by Creator will teach other humans many things. They become teachers to us. And the teachings that they bring to us is to have patience. The teachings they bring to us is to accept and love, to appreciate, to acknowledge, and to know that this is what they are teaching us. To take away all judgment and only give love and recognition, support, and that's what they teach us. So we have to thank our Creator for these people, and we have to do whatever we can as a society to make them welcome and to appreciate who they are and all the gifts that they bring to us. And so it takes a long time sometimes for humanity to open their minds and their hearts and recognize that we all have wisdom and to learn from each other. It's about learning from each other. We are all teachers, we are all learners, and we will always be that. But sometimes we have to get out of our heads. I often think, I work in the academic world, of course, and I myself have no education, academic education. Because sometimes as humans we forget there is a different kind of learning. And that different kind of learning is to learn from the true spirit and the heart of being totally human. And so sometimes academia gets too much in the mind, and I often say that at Red River College, and we have to move to the heart. I think we have to come to a time as humans now, indeed, it's very crucial that we do more and more of that, because of all the things that are happening around the world to many different people who are still suffering, and that includes Indigenous peoples. So we must move in a direction where we open our minds and our hearts and our bodies and our spirits to indeed be totally human and to create a more balanced world, a more world of harmony, and that all people deserve to be well. All people deserve to learn. All people deserve to have a home and a job and cars and all the things that we need as humans today. And that's what it's all about. So I congratulate you for making that move and removing barriers. That's what we must continue to do in order to make a more, how should I call it, more balanced and harmonious world, and to also recognize that the Earth Mother, who is our mother, we call her our mother, and she's also your mother, if you can think of it that way. that also there are all the signs all over the world that indeed as humans we have to also recognize the harm we are doing to our mother. And our people have always had a saying, it says, whatever happens to the earth will happen to the children of the earth. So we have to remove much of the harm that is being done indeed to our mother and work together as human beings, all nations that belong to that medicine wheel, and try to work harder to helping her heal, because you see she also needs love and she needs wisdom and she needs healing, just like we do. Again, whatever happens to the Earth Mother will happen to the children of the earth. So together we can make things happen. We can make change, and it's by working from our spirits and hearts a little bit more than we do from our minds. So today I will pray for that help and that guidance. Creator, our grandmothers and grandfathers, all those wisdom keepers who have passed long before us, we ask that indeed you guide the humans that live upon this earth in a different direction, a direction of accessibility for everybody, a direction where we are all treated the same, we are all accepted, because you see we all have red blood and we belong to one human race. And the more we work together and accept that, beautiful things will continue to happen. So have a wonderful day and a wonderful journey, each and every one of you.
Thank you very much, Elder May Louise, for blessing today's celebration. So today's celebration ties into a broader effort that MITT has undertaken to create a campus that is not only barrier-free, but also inclusive and representative of the diversity we celebrate throughout Manitoba and across Canada. It is in this spirit that we are very honored to welcome Emily McKinney of Swan Lake First Nation to perform a traditional hoop dance. When Emily was a secondary student at École Régionale Notre-Dame in Notre-Dame-de-Lourdes, she participated in one of the French language career exploration programs here at MITT, which we offer in partnership with the DSFM. Please, everyone, welcome Emily to the stage. I don't even think thank you is enough following that performance. One more time for Emily. As I was watching her, I was thinking that one of the great things about events like this is you get to see people that are able to do things that you couldn't do yourself in a million years. That was very, very, very impressive. So thank you very much, Emily. Next, I'd like to introduce Ray Karasevich, who is here to bring greetings from MITT and to speak a little bit more about Manitoba Institute of Trades and Technology and our commitment to inclusivity, accessibility, and diversity. So ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Ray Karasevich, our interim president and CEO.
Wow, I'm blown away. That was such an energizing and inspiring way to begin our morning, and very much thank you, Elder May Louise, and let's give Emily another round of applause. That was just incredible. We're very fortunate, and again, thank you to all of our special guests here today for joining us in this learning community at MITT and life in general. We really are all teachers and students, and I want to thank everyone, including all of the attendees here today, all of you, for joining us in this opportunity to learn and share. When we exchange knowledge, we move forward, and we move forward with our communities in a way that benefits all of us. Rick Hansen is, for generations of Canadians, an icon of ability, period. It is hard to believe that we are at the 30th anniversary of the Man in Motion tour, and I know for many of you in the room, who shared that journey with Rick at that time, you've been a part of that and a part of his legacy here today, which carries forward. On behalf of MITT, I'd like to say how grateful I am to see that his personal commitment to break down barriers and encourage society to see his potential continues to be the guiding spirit for the work of his foundation across this country. We are here today to celebrate Rick's legacy, and specifically the Rick Hansen Foundation support to MITT's Barrier Buster project, which is called Pathways Toward an Accessible Campus Community. With the foundation's support, MITT was able to enhance accessibility in its campuses through the addition of push-button automatic doors at washroom and exterior entrances here at the Henlow and as well at our Pembina campus. Thank you to the Rick Hansen Foundation for your generous support. This funding was made possible by a grant that the Foundation received from the Government of Canada as part of Canada's 150 Signature Projects Initiative. To Mr. Duguid, who joins us today as a representative of the Government of Canada, thank you for supporting this initiative. Throughout the process of completing our Barrier Buster project and in preparation for today's event, we have learned so much about what it takes to be a truly barrier-free and accessible community. Thank you for providing the support that made this learning possible for our institution and for our community. We will continue to apply these lessons as for the benefit of our students, staff, guests, and all who interact with MITT. MITT has a long-term commitment to inclusivity, accessibility, and diversity. For decades, this has been rooted in our core functions of creating employment opportunities for Manitobans. And just as we have evolved our training model to meet the needs of industry and the province, our understanding and practices have evolved when it comes to creating an inclusive, accessible, and diverse campus community. Today, MITT has domestic and Indigenous students from communities throughout the province learning alongside international students from more than 40 different countries. We are proud to be creating examples of Manitoba's diverse and inclusive workforce right here in our classrooms. So accessibility is an important dimension of inclusiveness. And as such, MITT is presently working with several partners to audit and then address the accessibility barriers present in our campus community. We are grateful for the input and support we have received to date from accessibility experts and the disability community. We are in the process of finalizing our accessibility plan, and we are working towards compliance with the legislated standards in the Accessibility for Manitobans Act. The first of these standards is customer service. And I'm proud to say that at the conclusion of today's event, we will be kicking off our staff training with the customer service standard in mind. I am pleased today also to be able to share with you MITT's draft statement of commitment to accessibility. This statement is pending approval from our governing board. However, they are supportive of sharing our intent with you today. And I quote, MITT is committed to building a culture of inclusion and a campus environment where universal access to our programs and services and dignified, independent participation in career-focused education exists for people of all abilities. MITT is a unique institution. Our commitment to accessibility builds on our rich history of supporting students in a practical and effective manner to access trades and technical training leading to employment. This includes individualized accessibility services, embedded employability skills in all of our programs, and direct links to industry employment opportunities. At MITT, we recognize that accessibility is ever evolving, and as such, we are committed to continuous improvement and leadership in the areas of workplace diversity, inclusivity, and accessibility. We stand together with our secondary and post-secondary partners in our commitment to making education in Manitoba more accessible. We will achieve this in part by identifying and removing and preventing accessibility barriers across MITT and complying with all applicable legislation. We will also assume a leadership role in demonstrating to our labor market partners that accessibility in the trades and other technical and skill-based occupations is not only desirable, but achievable. And that as a province of inclusivity, this is well within our collective grasp. I want to close my remarks by once again thanking some specific partners who have been instrumental in helping MITT move forward to creating a more inclusive, accessible, and diverse campus community. These groups are the Disabilities Issues Office, Enabling Access, F-Block Architecture, and the Manitoba League of Persons with Disabilities. And thank you to those groups for joining us today. Your collective input and support has been invaluable as we look forward to continuing our work on this important initiative. Lastly, and again, please join me in thanking the Rick Hansen Foundation and the Government of Canada for their generous support. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ray. So today we are affirming a commitment to remove barriers at MITT and creating a more inclusive, accessible, and diverse campus community. As part of this celebration, we are very honored to have our next speaker in attendance. Rick Hansen Foundation Ambassador Darren Luke exemplifies what a person with a disability can achieve when they are given the chance and when barriers to their success are removed. I would like to ask Darren Luke to come and join me on stage. When Darren was 10, he was diagnosed with a cancerous spinal tumor that doctors feared he would not survive. Darren endured treatment for the cancer, which left him paralyzed. Later in life, he regained his mobility, and when it again started to deteriorate, he underwent surgery, which left him paralyzed from the rib cage down. The adversity Darren has overcome since his childhood is remarkable, and today he is a husband, a stepfather, a 3-time graduate from university, a professional, and active in sports, including sledge hockey, tennis, and water skiing. Darren has also completed 3 half marathons. Everyone, please help me in welcoming Darren.
Morning, everybody. My name is Darren Luke, and I'm an ambassador to the Rick Hansen Foundation. I have a bit of a personal story that I'd like to tell today. Some of it has been mentioned a little bit already, but the great thing about being an ambassador for Rick Hansen Foundation is we're allowed to come to the corporations and come to the schools and everything like that and tell people about inclusivity and tell people about accessibility and what it means to a person with a disability. It's really important to us to be able to have a school that is accessible, with washrooms and opening doors and things like that. So that's wonderful. So I'm going to go on a little bit about myself. So we're going to talk a little bit about things with a person with a disability and through my eyes itself. So here's our agenda. So it's going to be a little bit about my life and where I started and where I've been today. We're going to talk a little bit about the Barrier Buster program itself and the initiative and it means to a person with a disability itself as well. So here's me in the beginning. So that was me. I was about maybe 8-9 months old. Started out very similar to all of you guys, a person without a disability. So my disability is an acquired disability. So I wasn't born with it. So I learned to begin life as pretty much as a normal child, no difficulties and things like that. This is where I kind of began my love of sports. You can see me with my wonderful little hockey helmet there at about the age of 3. And I hope you really like the plaid pants suspenders. That'd be the 70s, and that was my mom's problem there, so I apologize about that. But very happy little child, got to do a lot of different things and enjoyed my life as young. And came with some other loves of life too. So sport began as my favorite thing to do. Hockey is my passion, still always is and always will be. That's me at about 7 years old at the old Winnipeg Arena, being able to shoot in front of the whole crowd. So that was quite exciting. Got to do that. And through that program, I actually got to meet all the original Winnipeg Jets, which was kind of fun at the same time as well. So you can see my life began pretty easily and simple. Not really a whole lot of things were different. Again, another one of my passions is my animals. I love animals and I've always had a dog or some sort of animal in my life. And they can help a lot with people with disabilities. So when it comes to accessibility, you obviously have people who have cognitive disabilities, people who have visual disabilities, so animals share a large part in those people's lives as well. So very important at that point as well. This is where things changed. So I'm about 10 years old there, and I received a tumor at about T7, which is my thoracic area in my spine. And what that ended up doing was it ended up causing me to have paralysis from the rib cage down. So when I was about 10, I went to go have surgery to have that tumor removed. And just before I was to have surgery, that was in 1988, Rick Hansen was just finishing his Man in Motion tour, and he just happened to be in the hospital during that time, and they asked if I would like to go and meet him. So literally an hour before my surgery, they put me on a gurney and put me through all the old hallways at the Health Sciences Center and was able to go and meet Rick. And he gave me a very quick but inspirational couple of words. He said, you know, stay strong, always fight hard, and never give up. And that's something that I feel that I never have done. And one of the reasons why I'm here 30 years later, cancer-free, which is amazing for me and for my family. So thank you for that. It's been an amazing journey. It really has. So there's been a lot of things. Here I'm about 55 pounds at 10 years old, so quite thin. But it's moved into better things. So here's me receiving my first vehicle. Pretty swanky truck from what I think. So that was me at the age of about 20. So I was able to buy my own vehicle. That's me in Waterloo, Ontario. To move on, this is me learning how to play sledge hockey with one of my best friends. His name was Andre, and he was a huge inspiration. So basically when I was at the hospital in Waterloo getting surgery again to see if they could fix some of the issues I was having with my legs, didn't work. So Andre came to the hospital and told me about sledge hockey, which is a huge inspiration in my life, and it's something that I'm passionate about. So if there's anybody here that has a disability or has a family member that has a disability, please come see me later, because it allows me to allow people to learn how to play sledge hockey and play hockey just in a little bit of a different way. So that's a great thing about that. Here's me learning how to water ski as well. So this is a little bit of a different way. So basically you have a cage that you sit in and you ride behind a boat just like you would in a regular water ski. You can do tricks, you can jump off of a ramp, you can do slalom. So there's many, many different ways of doing that. And my coach there was another great inspiration, teaching me how to do different things just in a different way. So it doesn't mean that if you're a person with a disability, it doesn't mean that you're stuck in a chair, it doesn't mean that you can't do things, you just have to find a different way of doing it. Again, something a little bit different. A lot of people may not think that a person with disability can go tubing. This is something that I did just a couple of years ago with my stepson who's in the middle and my best friend James. And we went at insanely high speeds. And the driver would say, this means go faster, this means go slower. I was this the whole time, right? So you go as fast as you possibly can, and if you fall out, which we did, you're fine. It's just water, right? So that's the great thing about accessibility and inclusion. You guys can help. So anytime you see a person with a disability, you know what? If they need help, just ask. If the person doesn't need help, that's fine. But if they want it, I'm sure they'll accept it, and they'll accept it with graciousness. So why is the Barrier Buster initiative so important to persons with disabilities? Because it literally opens doors for them. I mean, obviously, we have the door openers here today. So it's an amazing program. It helps people in all sorts of different ways. And I'm extremely proud that the Manitoba Institute of Trades and Technology has been able to accept this grant and be able to apply for it, because it shows that you're being proactive. And that's something that's really important to people with disabilities, is being proactive in the community. And it helps us in many, many different ways. So please accept a round of applause for yourselves when it comes to that, because to us, it means so much. So please, like I said, again, give yourself a round of applause. Thank you. So there is nothing that you can't do if you set your mind to it. Anything is possible. And that's something that Rick Hansen said to us. I met with him just a couple of months ago. He was speaking at the Manitoba Human Rights Museum, and he was talking about inclusivity and accessibility and how important that is. So please just keep that in mind at all times. And like I said, it's an amazing world. And like I said, if we can open it to everybody, then it just becomes even more amazing. So thank you very much, and I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Darren, for your inspirational talk and presentation. We hope the work of the Rick Hansen Foundation and the Government of Canada on the Barrier Buster initiative helps enhance accessibility in communities across Canada. We also hope it inspires greater conversations in the community that help everyone to better understand and better support the removal of accessibility barriers to inclusivity, accessibility, and diversity within the communities where we all live. Our last speaker today is a true advocate for MITT, and we are very grateful for his participation here today. Mr. Terry Duguid was elected as the Member of Parliament for Winnipeg South in 2015 and has taken time to visit us on a number of occasions. He joins us here today to bring remarks on behalf of the Government of Canada. Everyone, please welcome Mr. Terry Duguid.
Well, thanks, Ryan. And as Ryan said, I've been back many times, and I like to say I've been there, I've done that, and I have the sweatshirt. But it's great to be with everyone here this morning, and to follow these very inspirational addresses. That was just incredible, Darren. Your story is extremely inspirational. And of course, the beautiful words of our elder. And whenever I come to MITT, I see the face of Canada. I see Indigenous folks, First Nations, MITT, some Inuit. I see people who have come from some 200 countries from around the world to make Winnipeg, and particularly Winnipeg, South their home, seeking a better life, seeking a better education. I could say hello to you in about 10 languages, but it would take me all day to say hello. But I will say Sat Sri Akal to my Sikh brothers. Ni hao, namaste, dobry den, salam alaikum. I'll stop there. But so I'm very proud to be part of this celebration here in Winnipeg South on Treaty 1 territory in the heart of the Métis Nation. And again, I'd like to acknowledge and thank Ambassador Darren Luke, our elder, May Louise Campbell, and our beautiful dance performer, Emily McKinney. That was also extremely inspiring, and I'm going to have to ask her where she got that music, because that really had my toe tapping. And folks, I don't have to tell you that 2017 is a historic year for Canadians. Canadians at home and abroad are proudly taking part in the celebrations marking the 150th anniversary of Confederation. And our government's vision for Canada 150 includes 4 main themes: diversity and inclusion, the environment, engaging and inspiring young people, and reconciliation with Indigenous peoples. We want to empower communities like Winnipeg South throughout the country, and this is accomplished by supporting special organizations and signature initiatives, which we are doing today. The signature initiative projects are large-scale, participation-oriented activities of national scope and with high impact. These projects will bring Canadians together to celebrate, participate in events, and share experiences. The Rick Hansen Foundation's Access4All project is a national initiative designed to inspire and empower youth to envision a world without barriers and a more inclusive and accessible Canada by awarding barrier buster grants to organizations in need of funding. The importance of making education inclusive and accessible to every single Canadian cannot be understated. Education is so critically important in the lives of young people, giving them the confidence and the skills necessary to pursue their dreams. The Manitoba Institute of Trades and Technology has played an integral role in the lives of so many of you, and expanding the accessibility of these programs ensures that they will continue to benefit many more. So we are all working together to make 2017 a historic year, a remarkable year, a year filled with pride that will leave a lasting legacy, a year that makes the generation of 2017 remember Canada 150 with emotion and with pride. So I'd like to thank MITT and the Rick Hansen Foundation for their initiative in organizing this event, and everyone have a very, very happy Canada 115. All the best.
Thank you very much, Mr. Duguid. Before we wrap up the formal portion of our event today, I'd like to now ask Ray Karasevich and Darren Luke if you could please join us one more time on stage. We would like to have you involved with our unveiling of our Barrier Buster Project plaque, which will hang in the halls of our Henlow Campus and will commemorate our Barrier Buster project and the commitment to accessibility supports that it represents. So if I could ask you guys to come up, we'll adjust the podium.
I thought of 2 more. Anin Tansi, Ni hao.
Okay. Thank you very much.